Number 0, Maggie Rule. Number 1, Laura Reef. Number 2, Natalie Barnhart.
Hi everybody, welcome to the live stream of the Raleigh Radiance home opener. We're super excited to be here today to bring this game between Raleigh Radiance and the Columbus Pride. Here in the booth with you today, I'm Elizabeth Parker.
And I'm Kieran Allen. And it is a beautiful day here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. Sunny, 60 degrees, a lot less wind than yesterday, and we're excited to bring you this game.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
We'd also like to thank our gold level sponsor, Laurie Marcy Realty, for her support of the Raleigh Radiance. And before the game gets started, we'd also like to take a moment to thank some of Raleigh Radiance's other local Triangle sponsors: O2 Fitness, Eat Street Discs, Sue Digital Media, Hannah Day Photography, Select PT, and the Carolina Flyers. Thank you all so much for your generosity.
So now we see the teams getting announced and the starting lineups lining up in the middle of the field.
We've got Raleigh Radiance in darks here, these black and red jerseys. Kits are looking fly. And we've got Columbus Pride in white tonight, this morning.
This morning, yeah, it's still morning, I guess.
Kind of a special treat to have a morning game. It's going to be a day full of sports, and it's exciting to get to kick it off with this early season matchup between Radiance and Pride.
Yeah, and this Raleigh Radiance team kind of went through an overhaul in the offseason. You'll notice they have new jerseys, new logos, and even a new coaching staff.
Totally new coaching staff, a lot of new teammates on the roster. I think it's a really exciting year for Radiance. I'm excited to see how all these new players bring their different skill sets, their different experiences to the field today. And Kieran, as you mentioned, how this totally new coaching staff brings their approach to strategy and everything else that we're going to get to see be put on show today.
Yeah, a lot of these players have played in the same sort of Carolina system for a long time. So it will be interesting to see kind of what's different, what's the same, and how they're going to look moving into this year.
Yep. Looks like we're about to have a coin flip down here, maybe a disc flip. We're taking a look at the Columbus Pride roster, game day roster here, getting a nice shot of all of our players, and here is the disc flip in the middle of the field.
You can see Radiance staying loose with some dancing to this in-stadium music. Very important to stay loose, stay warm, so we're ready to go once this game gets started.
Yeah, I'm seeing a lot of bounce in that line. That's great. A little bit of boogie on the Columbus Pride line over there.
Yeah, sure. So Parker, as someone who's played in these games before, what kind of what's going through your head right now, or put us in the minds of the players on the field?
Yeah, really it's a lot of excitement, especially for the first game of a new season. Again, with a lot of new teammates, you're excited to just get out there and finally play against an opponent who's not yourself. This
True.
team has been practicing for a while now, and at this level, scrimmages are always really intense, and then it's a real treat to get to go out there for the first time and have all those folks be on your own side, have them truly be, your teammates that are either battling beside you or with you from the sideline, and facing an opponent from, outside your own roster. So that feeling of excitement, that feeling of, uncertainty about what's to come, but certainty that you and your team are going to bring your best to whatever does come in this game. I think that's the kinds of things that are probably on some of these players' minds.
Definitely, yeah. I love the beginning of a season. It's like the possibilities are endless, and you're just full of excitement, full of nerves, and looks like they're getting ready to go.
Real quick before we get kicked off here, we do want to thank all the organizers who made this season possible for Raleigh Radiance. This organization is led by the steering committee, which consists of the Radiance board members Jenna Dahl, Denise Fleming, Melly Ford, Judy Ledley, Patrick Ledley, Mike Shue, Lindsay Sue, and Tyler Smith. And now we're getting a look at the Raleigh Radiance sideline. Lots of joy in these faces. I think there's a lot of excitement out there, and there's a lot of excitement up here in the booth too, Kieran.
Oh yeah,
Oh,
definitely.
yeah.
The opening pool is about to come up. Let's see, we got the Raleigh Radiance. They're starting on D. About to throw the pool.
Sure.
Looks like Q Titcomb about to pull the starting pull for Raleigh Radiance. Q's an exciting new addition to the Raleigh Radiance this year. After quite a few years of time in Seattle playing with some of the world's best club teams, Q has moved to the Triangle and is here participating in their first game with the Raleigh Radiance. So one of the many exciting new roster additions to the team this year. All right, about to get the first pull here. Let's see if we can get a sense of what the wind is like out there.
A low pool, but it gets plenty of distance and lands inbounds. Looks like Columbus is centering to number 28, Bailey Perkins. Little give go, still in the middle of the field.
Raleigh Radiance has come down in a person set here, just playing matchup defense, and pressure in the reset forces a turnover. Raleigh Radiance picks up, Jenny Riedel with the disc.
Dumps it back to Jenna Dahl.
Raleigh Radiance really using their reset patterns here to move the disc, and then unfortunately a throw just a little bit behind the intended receiver gives the disc back to Columbus.
Yeah, a bit of a tight window there. That's a tough inside flick to try to squeeze. But look, Raleigh Radiance gets it right back.
A lot of good pressure on these undercuts from the Raleigh Radiance defense, making these catches more challenging for these Columbus cutters.
Looks like end zone offense, they're still trying to attack from the front of the stack. A little give go. Moves the disc to the force side. Jenny fakes the around. And they find the end zone. That's number 12. Sarah Russick with the first goal for the Raleigh Radiance this season.
And that's a break to start us off, folks. Love to see that.
Oh, yeah.
All right, Raleigh Radiance celebrating that early break as Columbus jogs over to the line. The timing of these games is pretty quick for those of you at home. There are 4 quarters, 12 minutes per quarter. We get, a good chunk between quarters, 2.5 minutes, 10-minute halftime. But the time between points is only about 70 seconds. So we're going to have some quick turnaround here. I think, Kieran, that presents sort of a challenge strategically when there's that little time between points.
Definitely, definitely. So basically, with that little time, you kind of have to figure out your set and also who's going to be on the field while the current point is going on for the next point. So, it's a lot of managing on the sidelines and kind of having a game plan set before you even get on the field. This looks like another Raleigh D-line, typically of people who've played offense in the past. We got Ashley Powell throwing the pool. It flips over on her and lands just out of bounds. So it looks like Columbus Pride will center the disc. And like you mentioned with the last point, lots of reset pressure from the Radiance causing some early turns for Columbus. We'll see if they can get some momentum moving downfield on this point. They hit a nice under.
Yeah, Columbus set up in a split stack there and found the relatively easy under there. Now they're going into what looks like a bit of a horizontal stack. Also moving primarily through their resets for now. And good pressure on that reset forces a turnover on a downfield look. So Raleigh Radiance with the disc, Ashley Powell on the home sideline.
Oh, good bid here. Tips the disc, but Bella Russell still comes down with it. And then another D, and the Columbus Pride have got the disc back.
Katrina McGuire with the pressure there to get that disc back for Columbus.
Good reset pressure here by CBC.
a long throw for Columbus.
And it's right on the money. That's number 4.
Rachel Mast.
Rachel Mast puts the first score for Columbus Pride, gets them on the board.
So we saw a couple of turns there in that point both ways. It looks like both teams are going to be relying on their resets a lot to keep possession alive when there is pressure downfield. It looks like we've got a lot of really good downfield defensive pressure from both teams so far. So making these unders tough. It'll be interesting to see how both teams' cutting strategies, progress throughout this game if that defensive pressure stays so high.
Yeah, typically on a large field like this, in the past Raleigh has wanted to play sort of back shoulder D, where the first stop is the deep throw, and then really applying pressure on underneaths and trying to use your speed and athleticism to make a play. It looks like that strategy is still carrying on in the first few points here.
So here we're getting a look at our first Raleigh Radiance O-line as the Columbus PUL turns over early and goes out of bounds a bit short of half field.
Looks like definitely some wind affecting that PUL. In this large stadium, there's a big opening towards your left on the screen, and a lot of time that creates kind of a wind tunnel, pushing kind of an upwind downwind. But once again today, it's there's some wind out there, but it's not terrible. They should be able to throw through it.
We've got Connie Quee bringing the disc in for Raleigh Radiance. Raleigh Radiance cutting out of a side stack and good defensive pressure from Columbus as the first throw goes just a bit over Julia Zrzinski's upstretched jumping hand. Julia's got big hops, but that disc just a little too high for them.
And another turnover in the reset space for Columbus. Leaves Raleigh with a very short field, looking to take advantage. And no foul on that, so just a little bit low out of the hand, and Columbus will look to tap it in on their own goal line.
Columbus coming out in a vert stack now, and immediately hitting a really nice break around to get the motion going. Ooh, big bid from Columbus there. But no luck, and Raleigh Radiance will be picking up the disc in the middle of the field. Looks like Jenna Dahl picking up the disc here. Nice around by Connie to get the disc over to that far sideline.
Georgia with the disc on the flat side here. There's a nice little Oyo. Continuation into the end zone.
And Sarah Russick with a second score of the day, towing the line on that far sideline. That was some nice flat side motion from Raleigh Radiance and a relatively quick hold, a little bit of disc turnover around the end zone line, but Raleigh Radiance able to walk it down that flat side on that last possession for the hold.
Yeah, and that's Sarah Russick of Pittsburgh fans, where she played her college ball, but currently the coach of NC State Jaega. So she's moved down to the Triangle and doing big things. Also plays a club for Durham Toro.
Go Bulls.
Go Bulls.
A little fun fact about the Jaega representatives on this Radiance team that you pointed out to me today, Kieran. Can you give us that fun fact?
Yeah, actually, all the Sarahs currently on the Raleigh Radiance are also representing NC State Jaega. They have Sarah Spall, Sarah Russick, and Sarah McKee, all playing today as well.
All right, a Raleigh Radiance D-line coming out now. Looks like we got Ashley Powell, Claire Revere, and I can't see the rest of these numbers, so we'll get you the rest of these names throughout the point.
Caitlin Gerst is always also out there, as is Mary Rippey. Two speedsters, for sure. Here are Columbus working up the flat sideline and then gets it back to the middle.
Sarah Spall on the mark here.
Nice inside break. A little give-go.
Lots of pressure downfield again from Raleigh Radiance. Columbus looks to a strike cut, and it's a little low. So Raleigh disc here, moving in what seems to maybe be the upwind direction. Ashley Powell picking up the disc.
Interestingly, no reset here. They're just in a kind of a 2-4 split stack. Claire Revere on the sideline gets it back to Ashley.
Hits Sarah's ball in the middle of the field.
There's just a little behind for Mary Rippey, and Columbus with the disc again.
Katrina McGuire finds Becky Moore in the middle of the field, and the Columbus offense is moving at a pretty good pace now. Lots of quick continuation passes, but maybe a little too quick on that last throw, as a throw into the end zone misses its intended receiver, and we're going to get Ashley Powell picking up the disc for Raleigh again on the away sideline.
Yeah, I mean, that was an interesting look. It's definitely into an open space on the field. I think if that disc just has a little bit of outside in edge on it, that could be a goal there for Columbus.
Alice Wang with the disc now, running a reset pattern with Ashley Powell, who swings wide to Claire Revere. Really nice inside from Claire Revere there. And another from Caitlin Gross. But unfortunately, we have a drop, and so we're going to get a Columbus possession again here at about half field, looking into their end zone.
Yeah, it does appear that attacking this left end zone is into the wind with the disc. Could be bouncing around a little bit, making catching just a little bit tough.
Big bid from Clara Bridiger-Curris there on the under, but Columbus maintains possession.
So Radiance here in a forced backhand. It appears that Columbus is really trying to attack that break side, sort of just behind the mark, with angled cuts away and towards the thrower.
It was a nice around break, but unfortunately the angle from the cutter was coming a bit more steeply under than where the throw went to. So this time we're going to get Ashley picking up the disc on the home sideline. She's kind of getting some coast-to-coast opportunities to start these possessions for this Radiance line.
Now they swing the disc over, and it pops up a little bit, and Columbus with the D.
Yeah, it definitely looked like the wind made an impact on the path of that throw.
Yeah, that was number 77, Katrina McGuire. Columbus with the disc on the sideline, and they flip it into the end zone for the tying score. And that's, looks like, number 28, Bailey Perkins with the score. Bailey Perkins playing her club frisbee with Columbus Solstice.
Yeah, we've got a few different Columbus teams represented on this Pride team. We've got Trex Mix, we got Columbus Chaos, we got Columbus Solstice. It's really cool to see, a bunch of different club teams represented on a PUL team. I think that's one of the great joys of playing PUL is getting to spend time training and playing with your folks in your frisbee community who you don't play club with in and out every year.
Yeah, even pulling from around the state, looks like some Cleveland teams as well. Notorious CLE and Cleveland Crocs. So just like you said, it's a great opportunity to play with kind of the best players in the area, and travel around and play other really good teams. So Radiance back on O. They hit Q with an underneath. Switches the field. Nice find there for JZ.
Over to Connie on the far sideline.
Little lefty there. What a grab by Georgia.
Ginny to Q. Doesn't hit the swing, instead counters back, keeping the disc on that high sideline.
This looks like a lot of kind of small movement around in the handler space. Really a common strategy, especially in a windy game. It's smaller throws are definitely higher percentage right now, and when you can move the disc this quick and this effectively, it really makes for a dangerous offense.
It does for sure. Looks like we have a pick call here. Disc coming in right on the goal line. in Jenny Riddle's hands. Strike cut is really well covered by Corin Pruitt there.
Wow, great inside there from Jenny. And then the continue. And Radiant score.
Yeah, that's a really nice example of using the width of the field. Just, you know, when you're that close to the end zone, you don't have a lot of verticality to work with. So being able to get that really nice inside off and then hit the wide around and maximize the real estate, the width of the field is really effective. So nice end zone offense by Radiance there. Kieran, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that might be our first clean hold of the game.
Yeah, I think it is. That's Kelsey Fitzpatrick with the score. And yeah, very good offense from Radiance. Like we mentioned, it looks like they've kind of switched to a handler-driven type of offense, and it works well for them.
Yeah, that small ball looked great. A lot of good movement, a lot of people cycling in and out. Some nice grabs over on that far sideline, and a good job keeping the disc for the most part on that high sideline as well. It seems like both teams are having a little bit more success when they're able to keep the ball off of our home sideline, our downwind sideline. So we'll see if either of the defenses end up, you know, doing anything to start pushing the disc and maybe trapping down here on this close sideline. All right, Radiance pull is up. Samantha Phillips swings the disc to that high sideline to get the Columbus offense going.
Yep, nice around break here. Pops up a little bit. And Claire Bertigary Curtis with the D here.
Nice D. Way to really elevate on that sideline. And we're going to get Bella Russell picking up the disc on the far side. Bella Russell, one of the few high school players in the league. She's a real, you know, standout example of, you know, the great youth programs in the Triangle. Triangle Ultimate does a lot to encourage youth growth and the growth of Girls Ultimate, as that swing goes just a little too high, and we're going to get some great pressure from Claire again, as we're going to get Raleigh picking up the disc.
Yeah, I think Kaylin Gross might have even got a piece of that one. And a little bit low, and the Radiance turn it over again.
So Columbus coming out in more of a horizontal stack again for this possession, or maybe flowing into a vert.
Yeah, it does seem like downfield it's a lot of kind of what I would call the motion offense, where you clear space in front of the disc, and all the inactive cutters try to get out of the way.
That was a beautiful throw to space by Columbus number 8, Becky Moore. A really nice throw, great touch to just sit in the wind and let the receiver run onto it. That's you love to see that kind of vision and just really good control of the disc. That's a nice toss for the goal.
Definitely. And here's a replay of it. Inside, opening up the around.
Oh, excuse me. That was 00 Maggie Roll with that assist. All right, all tied up at threes with only about 90 seconds left in this first quarter. Some of these points have been pretty quick. Some of them have been a little longer. I think, you know, we're probably going to see a couple more points scored in this quarter, especially. But if Raleigh Radiance keeps playing this small ball style, I think it does take a little longer to chip all the way down the field.
Sure.
So we might have pretty limited points left in this quarter. As Jenna Dahl goes to pick up the disc, we've got Raleigh Radiance coming out in a vert stack and initiating cuts. Develop, but we look to a swing. Oh, really nice D by Alicia Chen to block that under and get the disc for Columbus.
And Columbus quickly on the counterattack. Looks like they got about 15 yards to go to put it in the end zone.
So Columbus looking for a break here. Now just about 10 yards outside the end zone.
Nice fakes to move the mark. Pops it up. And that's Q with the D.
Yep, Q gets the block in the end zone between two Columbus receivers.
Great goal line stand there by the Radiance.
Hannah Betcher with the disc here, throws up field.
Sarah McKee with the nice grab. And now it does seem the Radiance have switched more to a cutter-driven offense. That must have just been a 1-point decision to try to even things up last offensive point.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of offensive dynamicism from both teams, a lot of different offensive structures downfield, a lot of different approaches to driving the offense.
Sarah Russick with the disc. Some great downfield cutting by her.
And another block by Alicia Chen. That's 2 blocks in 1 point. Alicia Chen really putting that pressure on underpasses and earning the disc back for Columbus. But, folks, that's the end of the quarter.
Yeah, it looks like time actually expired just as Sarah threw that underneath. So with the turn, that possession is over, and that's the end of the first. All right, well, hope you enjoyed that first quarter, but we have some bills to pay, so we'll throw it to a few ads. Hope you stick with us, and we'll see you in the second quarter.
And also thanks to some of our fitness partners this season. Select Physical Therapy and O2 Fitness have been keeping the Raleigh Radiance and Carolina Flyers in tip-top shape. Find us
Or it flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores. What are they? Spaceships from Mars? No, they're Frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Welcome back. We are getting a look at the Columbus D-line that's walking out. Gonna start this second quarter off on defense. And the score is all tied up at 3s.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. All right, so exciting first quarter there. We are all tied up at 3s.
Yeah, it's been a really close matchup so far. You know, as the score obviates, I think both teams have been putting out quite a bit of defensive pressure. And we've seen some offensive adjustments, some offensive maybe experimentation with different looks, different structures. I think, you know, for Radiance, it seemed like so far the most successful or at least most efficient offensive approach was that small ball. I think from Columbus, we've seen a few different plays and I think more of a tendency to take those longer downfield looks, although neither team has been hucking much yet.
Yeah, not much hucking. I think Columbus looks like they really prefer to attack the break side, kind of get away from those athletic Raleigh defenders. But, you know, I mean, that just puts a lot more pressure on Radiance marks. You got to take away the insides, take away the arounds, and when you're on the flat side of the field, just know that that's probably where they're trying to attack. Columbus with the pull. This is a good one, staying in bounds. Looks like Ashley Powell to pick up. Center to Bella Russell.
And Raleigh Radiance hits a really nice flood play to Claire Riviere on the far sideline. Looks like a travel is called, perhaps. I think the disc is going to go back here.
Yeah, it looks like she might have caught that inbounds, but her momentum carried her out of bounds and then just didn't reestablish that pivot foot before throwing downfield. But hits Mary Rippey all the same. And there's a point block on the Mary Rippey around.
That point block brought to you by Mal Griffith, number 21 of Columbus Pride.
Great D there. That is Justine Neville with the great underneath D.
Yeah, really nice block there as well.
Ashley Powell puts one out to space. Good pressure there.
Looking to give Justine the bookends there, but unfortunately I think the wind grabs that disc a bit. It pops, and so we're going to see Columbus pick up the disc on the far sideline here. Corinne Pruitt with the disc. Hits Graham Cunningham on a strike.
Oh, and just a little bit too low there for Mal Griffith. Radiance with the disc.
Ashley Powell in the middle of the field looking to orchestrate this offense into the end zone.
Here's Sarah Spall with the disc. Stall count rising.
Alice gets away on a nice under, and perfect timing from Mary for that cut into the end zone. And we've got Raleigh Radiance holding to start the second quarter.
Yeah, great continuation cut there by Mary Rippey. She's also got a lot of speed. It's very hard to stop Mary from getting to the front cone.
Yeah, if Mary wants to get somewhere, she's probably going to go there.
Here we're seeing the replay. Faking the around. There's Alice Wang with that continuation cut to Mary Rippey.
Nice step out from Alice Wang, too, to get away from her mark, who was closing in on that throw. Great timing from Mary again. And now let's see out on defense. We've got Connie Quee, Jenna Dahl, Hannah Betcher, Sarah McKee, Q Titcomb.
Looks like also Connie Quee is out there. And
nice, Sarah and George at the end there, two of our Toro representatives. We've got, a lot of club teams represented on this Raleigh Radiance team as well, from women's teams, mixed teams, and again, just an exciting opportunity to play with, folks you played with in college, folks you played against in college. As Connie puts this pull up, it's a good distance, made the adjustment to keep it in bounds as well, and
love to see it.
And Columbus is off to the races with a flood play of their own, kind of emulating that pull play that Raleigh Radiance ran successfully on the previous point.
Radiance with a lot of pressure on these underneath cuts. You can tell they're... Oh, and then here comes the huck.
Q got involved there. There were a couple of Radiant...
Looks like a foul is called.
Yeah, looks like one of the Columbus receivers is calling a foul. So we were just talking between the quarters about how neither team has been hucking much, probably partially due to the crosswind that we're seeing. That one, I think that was a good look. There were two receivers in the area. Q, really a great defender in the air, so maybe not the defender you want to huck to.
Looks like that call is contested, and both players agree to send it back. So Columbus with the disc, right about midfield. The underneath pops up, but it's going to work out anyway. And Columbus with an away shot to the end zone. Georgia with the pressure, but number 4, Rachel Mast with the score.
Yeah, a nice grab under pressure there to get up and attack that disc with both hands. Brings the disc in for the Columbus hold. Between points here, I want to thank some of Raleigh Radiance's fitness partners this season. Select Physical Therapy and O2 Fitness have been keeping both the Raleigh Radiance and the Carolina Flyers in tip-top shape. If you're in the Triangle area, find a Select PT clinic near you for all your athletic training and physical therapy needs. And O2 Fitness is all over the place, so go to o2fitnessclubs.com to test out a free 21-day trial.
Yeah, both of those very excellent organizations. I can personally attest to both of those fantastic sponsors.
Same here. Been using O2 Fitness as my home as I've been doing some ACL rehab, and they're a great resource for no matter where you're at in your Frisbee career or your outside of Frisbee career. So check them out. All right, pull goes up from Columbus here. Raleigh Radiance O-line. Disc goes out of bounds. Stopped by Jenna Dahl, a great teammate, bringing the disc up to the sideline so that Ashley can walk it to the middle of the field for this possession.
So we got a 32 split stack here from Radiance. Looks like a flood play, but they just end up hitting the front of the stack. Claire Revere in the middle of the field. Now swinging it over to Mary Rippey on the trap sideline.
Ooh, nice little dig by Alice to get under her defender and center the disc back to Ashley.
You know, I'm very impressed by how low Alice Wing can get on her throw. It makes those release points really tough to guard as a mark. Nice inside there from Ash Powell. Alice continues around. What a grab by Mary Rippey.
Continues the motion to that far sideline to Claire Revere.
Little give and go, flat side. Continues to the middle of the field.
So here's this sort of classic North Carolina end zone offense that we see. We've got 3 people working in isolation with the rest of the 7 in a vert stack pushed to the back of the end zone so that the folks up front have plenty of room to work.
Still not quite in. Claire Revere right on the goal line. Finds CBC in the back of the end zone, and that's a Raleigh Radiance goal.
Yeah, great vision from Claire Revere there to notice that the Columbus defender had dropped off of CBC to try to help and just hit that, laser straight to Claire's chest for the goal.
So Raleigh Radiance takes a commanding 1-point lead here. It's been a very tight game, back and forth through this quarter and a half.
8 minutes left in this quarter, so plenty of time for one team to start taking a lead. But as you say, Kieran, we've had a really close game with some back and forth points, but overall a lot of holds.
So what do you think this Raleigh Radiance coaching staff is thinking at this point? They're getting a lot of pressure, getting turns. You think maybe should they switch up any strategy or just kind of continue with what's been working?
I think in terms of strategy, this early in the season, I bet the team is really using this game as an opportunity to just try out a bunch of different looks, both defensively and offensively. I think, the value, like we were talking about earlier, of just getting to try out all of your strategies against someone other than yourselves who know the ins and outs of said strategies is really huge. So probably trying to mix it up, although we do see Raleigh Radiance come out in a match defense again. Yeah. And Columbus looks for a huck down the middle of the field here, but Connie gets under it for the block.
Yeah. A nice look out to open space, just a little bit underthrown, and it brings in Connie has a great read as a defender there, just kind of holds her ground and then makes a play.
We've seen a lot of these longer swings to this home sideline get pushed a bit low by the wind and lead to some incompletions. So that happens again here, and we've got Columbus with the disc on the home sideline.
Looks like maybe a call downfield, but Georgia will tap it in.
And an immediate long throw up the sideline, but Julia Zerzinski plays some great heads-up defense and turns around for the block.
Now Jenny will tap it in, swing it over to Connie.
Sarah McKee now pushes the disc ahead to Georgia, who shoots. Oh, that's
off his fingertips.
Right off the fingertips of the defender and the offender.
Yeah, I think Georgia was trying to squeeze that over the defender. Not a good look, but just a little bit off.
Big defensive pressure from Hannah Betcher on the reset there leads to a quick turnover. Jenny picks up, dishes to Georgia for the goal, and that's a break.
Yeah, big break there by the Raleigh Radiance. Georgia finds the end zone, and 2-point lead.
We haven't seen many 2-point leads this game, so
Might be the first.
It might be the first. Raleigh Radiance with the break.
So what I liked about that point is, even just taking the aggressive shot moves the disc down the field, and then they're able to apply pressure and get a short field turn. So even when it doesn't work out, sometimes in the end it can be helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, it doesn't seem like it's windy enough out there for playing a purely field position game to be worthwhile. But that being said, taking those looks to the end zone when they're good looks, like the one Georgia shot, and then having the opportunity to really apply heavy reset pressure, that can be a great approach to ending up converting a really efficient break.
Yeah, they say the best offense is a good defense, actually, that was the. Actually, I guess they say the other way around, but it works both ways.
It works both ways.
Sometimes your best defense can be a good offense, and vice versa.
Columbus is going to center to Samantha Phillips, and then throw a nice under. And another huck look.
Backhand goes up. It's a little bit floaty. And what a grab
wow. What a grab by Maggie Rowell.
And then continues it into the end zone, and that's a score. Columbus Pride with the big-time hold.
Wow, some great grabs in that possession for Columbus, despite some big pressure from Radiance defenders. That grab by Rowell that you're seeing on replay now, really, really amazing catch.
And then almost equally to toe the line here for the goal through the contact. That's number 22, Mary Turner.
So that's a quick hold for Columbus, and we're going to see a Raleigh Radiance O-line coming out to try to hold back. So, Kieran, are you surprised that we haven't seen any more junky or zony looks yet this game?
With this amount of wind, it's definitely could be a possibility. But also, early in the season, they might not have those ironed out quite yet, or it might be something that you're looking to save for later in the season, or even a playoff scenario. Something to consider nowadays with the amount of Ultimate film and games that are being streamed. It's easy to kind of dissect any look you throw, especially in an early season game.
Raleigh Radiance runs another flood play, this time for Q on the far sideline, who immediately hucks deep, looking for Sarah McKee there. Long crossfield huck, not quite probably in the place that they meant to put it, so Columbus picks up on the home sideline.
Here, Raleigh's in a backhand force, applying a lot of flat side reset pressure.
Yeah, a lot of good defense there, but Leisha Chen finds a lateral outlet, and then a turnover for Columbus gives the disc back to Raleigh, just about 20 yards outside the end zone.
Chinny with the inside finds Q. Nice continue there, and great grab by Hannah Betcher.
Hannah Betcher having to extend behind her to snag that, but does so, and that is another hold for Radiance. We've seen quite a few athletic grabs today, some really high grabs, some low grabs, some grabs behind. It looks like everybody out there on the field is really determined to get to the disc, no matter where it goes. I think, there is some wind, so the discs aren't always going where the throwers are intending, but we're seeing a lot of effort from receivers on both sides to complete those plays.
Looks like we have a timeout on the field. Radiance huddled up.
So during this timeout, we would just love to talk a little bit about Triangle Ultimate. The Radiance is proud to partner with Triangle Ultimate on many community events centered on increasing youth enrollment in Ultimate. Recently, members of the Radiance participated in Triangle's first ever Girls Ultimate Summit, which was created by Harper Bear as a gathering for female matching players to share their playing experiences and to discuss future opportunities for Girls Ultimate in the Greater Triangle area. A lot of great work going on there, and Kieran, I think, part of the impact of that great work is, down the line, seeing great semi-pro teams like Raleigh Radiance.
Definitely. A lot of these current Radiance players have experience coming up in the YCC and also Triangle Ultimate youth scene. And we even see it with Bella Russell, who's on the team now and also plays for the Warhawks, I believe.
Yep, exactly right. And you love to see that, that double benefit of having strong semi-professional league, having a team in the area, having a strong youth scene, and then just the virtuous cycle of those two contributing to each other. I think Triangle is really lucky to have that kind of situation where clubs or teams like Raleigh Radiance can support the youth scene, and the youth scene, is a pipeline to the semi-pro team.
Yeah, we'll actually see that at halftime with a Youth Ultimate scrimmage. Not sure if it'll be on the stream, but those of us in person will certainly enjoy watching that.
All right, timeout has wrapped up, and Raleigh Radiance is set to pull. Got Claire Revere about to pull from the left side of the screen here.
A big break opportunity here for the Raleigh Radiance. Like we said, it's been really a back and forth game, but scoring to go up by 2, another break here would certainly do well to add to that lead. It looks like a collision downfield. That Sarah Spall looks to be a little bit hobbled. We'll take an injury sub.
Alice Wang coming on as a sub. Looks like Columbus won't take a sub to match, so Alice will tap us back in.
Here we are in a Radiance with a backhand force. And it looks like maybe even a force middle as they switch back to a forehand. Inside just too low for Columbus. Ashley Powell to pick up. Immediately swings it over to Bella Russell. You see Columbus with a force side lane poach here. Trying to stop that downfield movement by the Raleigh Radiance.
Wow, great bid from Katrina McGuire. Forces the turnover there.
McGuire certainly putting her stamp on this game. Come up with quite a few blocks. And Columbus putting one into the end zone.
Wow.
Alice Wang with the D, though.
Alice Wang coming in off the sideline on that injury sub and getting a big block on a throw that otherwise would have been a goal. Ashley Powell to pick up. Looks like Raleigh Radiance is pushing their stack wide, and they've got Mary Rippey and Claire Revere cutting in isolation.
Bella wins an up line. Power possession here.
Great mark keeps the disc from being swung, but Bella finds an outlet.
Great grab there by Justine Neville.
Yeah, great grab on that huck.
Mary hitting Alice up line.
Disc pretty much hasn't moved off of this trap sideline so far in this possession, but Radiance is continuing to push down the field, now just about 10 yards outside the end zone, and there's a pick call.
Yeah, it almost looked like Columbus trying to set a double team there, but of course not allowed in the rule set that we are playing in. Bella catches the around.
Here we're seeing that small ball approach again, and look wide, but
D.
big block by Maggie Rowell.
And she's off to the races. Huck goes up, but Claire Revere makes up the ground and gets the D.
Yeah, good positioning by Claire there to stay in front. I like that, quick break kind of option from Columbus to try to get the disc downfield while many of the Radiance defenders are still in the end zone, pushed back into their end zone set. Didn't quite work that time, but a good thought. Ashley with a huge inside, big gainer down to Claire.
And body there by the defender.
Yeah, some jostling under the disc as that throw popped up a little bit, and the Columbus defense is able to make the play. So we've got the disc back in Columbus's hands now. They're set up in a horizontal stack and starting with some lateral motion. Oh, a dishy over to that high sideline just gets a little too much mustard on it and goes soaring out the side. So we're going to see Raleigh get another chance at their end zone offense here. Disc coming in just about 15 yards outside the end zone.
And that's actually the first time that Parker's ever said there's too much mustard on it. I'm really a fan of the yellow condiment.
This end zone possession, again, trying to use that lateral real estate and just missing on the final swing, so we're getting another Columbus possession. We're getting a lot of looks at Columbus's various initiation plays here, but it seems like overall Radiance is doing a good job of containing those initiating cuts. Columbus having to move laterally or even in this case throw what seemed to be a bit of a bailout option after Radiance shut down the first few cuts.
Yeah, Raleigh really keying in on the cutters right around the disc, and you can see able to apply a lot of pressure on that flat side. But now back on offense, Mary Rippey catches on the force side.
Wow, another block from number 77, Katrina McGuire.
Katrina McGuire, but it looks like maybe a call on the play.
That's a great matchup there. We've got Claire Bitgary-Curtis, who is an excellent cutter, got a lot of length, got a lot of speed, got a lot of smarts, and then Katrina McGuire, who has been playing excellent defense, really putting on pressure and running through to get blocks. So I'd love to see a really intense matchup like that and see how it develops over the rest of this game. Looks like we've got a timeout on the field now.
Yeah, it looks like the disc went back to Bella Russell, who immediately called a timeout. And we'll see what kind of set the Raleigh Radiance come out in with, with about 20, 25 yards to go.
And only 30 seconds left in the quarter. So in this rule set, the end of quarter for the first, second, and third quarter, the possession that is active when the timer runs out is the last possession of the quarter. So good call, honestly, here from Radiance to call a timeout, settle some nerves, knowing that if they can hold the disc for 30 seconds, regardless of if they punch it in or not, knowing that Columbus will not get an opportunity to finish this point. So Radiance looking to either score or at least hold on to the disc and run out the clock here to take us into halftime. Getting a nice shot of this Columbus huddle here. Definitely some strategizing going on about matchups and defense, because the other side of that same coin is Columbus needs to get a block in less than 30 seconds so that they can have an opportunity to be the last possession of this half.
Yeah, so I assume as a defender in this situation, you want to be aggressive, knowing that a quick score doesn't necessarily, I mean, it hurts you for the scoreboard, but also it means that you'll probably get the last possession of this quarter. So really, worst case for the defense here is a sustained possession for 30 seconds followed by a score.
Yeah, definitely.
So expect downfield defenders to be aggressive. It looks like Raleigh sets up a kind of an end zone offense, looking to attack from the front with 3 inactive cutters in the back of the end zone. Claire Veer on the trap sideline. 2 reset cutters cutting the same space. Bella looks to sneak open up line. Hits the around. Good switch of the field here.
Wow. Great around by Hannah Betcher to Mary Rippey for the score.
You can tell Radiance really excelling when they can get the disc off that trap sideline, kind of open the floodgates to be able to switch the field and then score on the opposite side.
So that's a pretty quick in zone possession, leaving us with 6 seconds in the quarter, which means that Pride is going to get one more offensive possession this half. Yeah, look at that replay. That's great shape on that around to make sure that that disc falls just directly into Mary's hands as she jumps to complete that score.
Yeah, Hannah Betcher, normally known for her speed, but also, very capable with the disc. There's a nice around. And once again, Mary Rippey, just so hard to stop to the front cone. Especially when it's on the break side. You can see the Radiance sideline now. I'm getting a good shot of the stands. We got some Columbus fans in the house. All right. Wow,
I like
the
this
trip.
Pride shirt. This is cool. This is cool merch.
Yeah. Pride, of course, a group of Lions. Am I correct in that? And Radiance, a group of Cardinals. So both unique names for groups of animals.
Yeah, some real like zoologically oriented naming conventions happening with these two teams. That is a good fact for anyone watching at home who doesn't know. Radiance is the name for a group of cardinals, cardinals being the state bird of North Carolina. All right, Radiance pull. This will likely be the final possession of the half as the clock starts. And as the clock ends. Yep,
All right, so last possession here for the Columbus Pride. Yep. Hits the around.
And Q gets the block,
Great D there.
ensuring that Columbus will not have an opportunity to hold to finish the half. Great D, and that takes us to halftime, folks.
For our halftime show, we have the Radiance Juniors playing Mini. The Radiance Juniors is a Triangle youth team coached by Radiance players.
Yeah, we're going to get that squad out there soon. But in the meantime, just a little bit of recap of that first half as you see Q giving some love to the camera and to everyone at home watching. Q making a big impact on that first half. Really, I would say the biggest impacts overall from both teams were from defensive players with some big blocks coming up from both squads.
Yeah, a lot of pressure on the underneath throws from both sides. Run through Ds. It's hard as an offense throwing to a contested underneath. You'd like to be able to attack deep and kind of the threat of that open up the underneath. But both teams able to stop the deep throws and then also apply a lot of underneath pressure.
We've got a 10-minute halftime, folks, so stick around. And Radiance did take half. Radiance took us into half at 8-5, which is actually like a traditional club half score as well. But
yeah, game to 15.
game to 15. Here in the PUL, of course, we're playing to time, not to points. But 9 minutes left in half, and we'll catch y'all soon.
All right, see you on the other side.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
Hey everybody, welcome back. We have got just about a minute and a half left in halftime, and we've got some great information for you.
This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com.
The Discraft Ultrastar is the official disc of the Premier Ultimate League. Discraft, the world leader in disc sports.
And we'd like to thank our sponsors, the Carolina Flyers, Yeet Street Discs, and Laurie Marcy Realty.
So we just saw a really great halftime demo with some youth triangle players. Really awesome to see them out there during halftime playing on the field while Raleigh Radiance and the Columbus Pride take a bit of a break and strategize to head into the second half.
Yeah, so Radiance able to gain a little bit of a lead there towards the end of that second quarter. Still, a tight game, and also opportunities kind of for both teams. It's really just about being able to punch it in and take advantage of those defensive blocks and other opportunities.
So we are going to see these lines coming out now, get a glimpse at what 14 players are going to be kicking us off as we head into the second half.
Yeah, it looks like for Radiance we have Q Titcomb,
Jenna Dahl, Julia Zerzinski.
Georgia Say is out there, as well as Connie Quee. And is that Sarah Russick as well?
Yes, Sarah Russick and Kelsey Fitzpatrick rounding out our 7 players who are going to be kicking off the second half of Raleigh Radiance. Down in the Columbus end zone, we've got Captain Becky Moore, Samantha Phillips, Katrina McGuire,
and also no numbers on the front of the jerseys, which makes it very hard to see from up here in the commentary booth.
We'll try to get you the rest of these names throughout this point. So Radiance with a 3-point lead going into this half. And that's a bit of a commanding lead considering how close most of the first half was.
Yeah, they were able to pull away a little bit. Connie Quee here with the pull. Nice one right down the middle of the field.
So Columbus starting out this half on offense and with the opportunity to bring the gap back down to 2. Great pressure from Q on that under, but Columbus keeps it alive.
A little bobble, but still able to secure. Great concentration there in the middle of the field.
This is Katrina McGuire with the disc, seeing some really, again, intense pressure from
good bid by Q there.
Defense. And McGuire able to hold on to that disc despite, I think, Q maybe getting hand on it. And
able to find the end zone.
McGuire shoots and hits her teammate for the goal. Looks like Samantha Phillips with that score.
Yeah, Radiance able to trap McGuire there on the sideline and apply a lot of pressure, but she finds an outlet. Oh, and a little look into the booth there. Anyway, here we have Raleigh Radiance coming out on offense after that hold by the Columbus Pride.
That was a quick hold despite a lot of pressure from the defense.
Yeah.
There were quite a few passes that Radiance defenders, almost got in front of. Some passes where Columbus receivers had to make a second attempt to secure the possession. But all in all, a really efficient offensive possession. And now we'll see Columbus with their first pull of the half.
Yeah, the Columbus offense seems to look pretty well when they get the disc in the hands of Katrina McGuire.
Yeah, a lot of success coming there in that possession for sure. And Corinne Pruitt with the big pull, and Raleigh Radiance picks up. Alice Wang with the disc.
Ashley Powell cutting up line, but really just clear space. Oh, and Claire Revere just off the fingertips almost makes a heck of a grab.
Alex Hughes immediately looks to the end zone, but the disc falls right back to Claire Revere. Claire Revere. Looks like maybe we had a call before the throw.
Yeah, it looks like the disc is going back.
We've got the sideline coming onto the field with water bottles, so it must be a
maybe
timeout.
A timeout. Yeah, I mean, that must have been a classic coaching staff knowing this is a big possession, calling a timeout, looking to get the offense kind of settled downfield and get an efficient attack going the other way.
Great read by Claire Revere to get under that disc, but I do think the disc is going to come back in Columbus' hands when this timeout's over. Jenny keeping the energy alive during this timeout. A little bit of moving and grooving.
Always a good idea to keep the blood pumping, keep the muscles loose. Can never dance too much out there on the field.
You know what, Kieran? I've been saying that for years. Can never dance too much out there.
Yeah.
Oh, I don't know if y'all can hear it through the live stream, but we're getting Dancing Queen pumped through the stadium right now, so definitely
that explains it.
the vibes are up. All right, Raleigh Radiance sideline clearing the field. Columbus sideline has already cleared the field, so let's get a look here at what kind of offensive structure Columbus is going to set up off of what is now going to turn into an opportunity for a scripted play call. Timeout rules a little bit different in the PUL than in the USAU rule set. The player with the disc can call a timeout, but there's also a designated person on the sideline, either a coach or sideline player, who can call a timeout, so allowing for a little bit more of that strategic layer by the coaching staff to call those timeouts whenever desired.
Yeah, and sometimes that leads to what we saw, where the player on the field looking to take an aggressive shot, the coaching staff having a little bit of a different idea in calling the timeout prior to it.
Pulling on the reins a bit.
And so here Samantha Phillips is tapping the disc in right about midfield.
Running a little bit of an isolation play for Katrina McGuire there. As you were saying, this team has a lot of success when the disc is in McGuire's hands.
Great crossfield flick there.
She throws it wide to Becky Moore.
CBC with the clamps on the flat side reset.
Really excellent reset defense, but Columbus is able to score.
And Columbus still hits the around for the score. Really good possession there by Columbus Pride. Lots of pressure on that reset, but sometimes you stick with it and you can complete it anyways.
Yeah, that's some great patience from Columbus with the disc after that timeout to stick with those resets, to keep the disc on that high side, and finally to hit that really nice continue down that sideline for the goal.
And that's a big point there for the Columbus Pride, able to pull this game back within one. And 2 quick points out of half has almost tied this game up.
So with Raleigh Radiance coming out on offense, Kieran, what do we need to see from Columbus to keep this little run at the start of the half alive?
Well, I mean, really just keep applying that pressure. We've seen lots of turns this game, but really the difference in the last 2 points is their offensive efficiency after the turn. Able to kind of get late stall resets, but still hit continues and eventually punch the disc in. For Raleigh, you'd like to kind of settle the nerves and just punch this one in and make it look easy. So we'll see if they can do that.
This pull goes long and skids out the sideline, but Connie's still able to pick it up and center it before the Columbus defense pressure comes down and sets on the resets.
Yeah, it looks like that was a prescribed go play for Q. Q's able to win the underneath though. Swinging it, great grab by Jenny.
So Jenny and Q working the backfield right now. Big bid from Georgia, but not able to complete. So we are going to get Columbus with an opportunity for another break here.
And we'll see if they can continue this defensive-offensive efficiency. See if they can punch this one in for the tie.
Yeah, and they do. That's very efficient, and that is a tie. So with that break, Columbus brings us to 8-8. Really nice efficiency from Columbus there. A big bid from Georgia on the Radiance offensive side. Unfortunately, the disc going a little long. Columbus picking up the disc and just a few well-timed cuts downfield to get the disc into the end zone for that break. So that's 2 back-to-back breaks and 3 back-to-back points for Columbus.
Yeah, Radiance definitely looking to stop the bleeding here. Coming out on offense. We see assistant coach player Pierce there giving some last second direction to the O-line.
So if you're Columbus and you're at this point where you've just scored 3 in a row, are you bringing the same defensive set? It's working, or are you using this as an opportunity to try something new, thinking that Raleigh Radiance has just seen your defense a few times in a row?
Yeah, that's kind of an interesting question. I typically say keep the momentum going, especially with these kind of quick points to start the second half. But it looks like they do the exact opposite of that and take the opportunity to throw out a zone look.
So this is exciting. This is our first cup that we've seen of the game, but Raleigh Radiance moving really quickly through it and already about 5 yards outside their end zone.
And that's what you like to see for the Raleigh Radiance.
That's what you like to see. Mary Rippey to Justine Neville. They really shredded that cup, Kieran.
They did, yeah. Lots of Caitlin Gross, lots of Mary Rippey, and quick movement. It's just it's hard for that cup to keep up when no one holds the disc for more than 2 seconds.
Yep. Raleigh Radiance could have been playing that possession with a 2-second stall, and I think they still would have scored. So really nice offensive motion from this team who, no one on this team has had to play zone offense against another opponent yet this season. That's their first zone offensive possession of the season, and if that's the trajectory they're on, it's a great one because that looked really nice.
Yeah, there you see Mary Rippey throwing the right-hand backhand into the end zone. Mary's actually amphibious. That means she lives on land and... No, I'm just kidding. She is ambidextrous. She can throw left hand, right hand, whatever you need, Mary can distribute.
So that score takes us to 9-8. Radiance ahead by 1.
Yeah, so obviously big hold there by Radiance, but really I thought it's really telling how efficient and easy that looked.
Yeah.
Seemed like they were almost ready for that zone look by Columbus Pride.
And, with that possession in mind, I do expect that we'll see a lot more matchup defense from Columbus the rest of this game.
Does seem like that has been most effective.
Good pull, good hang time here from Raleigh Radiance. And Columbus picks up the disc with the defensive pressure already in place. Raleigh doing a good job to get down early on that pull and apply pressure from the first throw.
Yeah, it looks like a forced middle, and Hannah Betcher with the D. Raleigh Radiance gets the turn and looks to take the counterattack going the other way.
So we saw this second half kick off with a 3-point run by Columbus. Could we see a 3-point run the other direction now as Raleigh Radiance has one of their first break opportunities of the half?
Georgia swings the disc over to Hannah Betcher on the sideline.
Ooh, big collision downfield. We've got a Radiance player down.
Looks like that's Jenny. She's able to pop up, though.
Jenny jogs off. Good to see her get up quickly and able to get off the field. Hoping she's all right. Radiance brings Connie in as the injury sub. And get the disc tapped back in here. Looks like there's a little bit of discussion between the players.
Let's see, it looks like, is that Jay-Z with the disc?
Yep, Julia Zerzinski with the disc.
Maybe talking about positioning, trying to get everyone back to where the injury occurred. But Jay-Z will tap it in. They'll throw it up to Connie. Georgia wins an up line, but Connie throws it around. Great bid there.
Wow, Jay-Z, an extremely acrobatic athlete, making big bids like that, making rolling catches, contorting their body to get blocks. So nice bid from Jay-Z to keep the possession there.
Looks
and
like an uncontested strip.
Jenna up to Georgia. Great mark from Becky Moore here, but after quite a few fakes, Georgia's able to get the disc off the sideline.
Just a little too high there for Sarah Russick. Looks like Columbus will tap it in on their own goal line. Looks to swing to the middle of the field.
Sam Phillips up to Becky Moore. And a nicely timed undercut gets Columbus some big yards as they start chunking their way down the field here.
Yep, there's Samantha Phillips swinging it across. And a big hook here on the flat sideline just leaks out of bounds.
That's a nice look. That throw down that flat sideline with the defender, trailing in the middle of the field. That's a great window to attack. Looks like that one maybe got pushed down a bit with the face of the disc getting shown to the wind. So got pushed down a bit early, and now Connie picks up and throws the disc to Jay-Z, who passes upfield for some big gainers themselves. Raleigh Radiance moving up the field now.
Here's Sarah Russick with the disc. Looks to throw it around. Great space throw to Connie Quee. Continues Sarah McKee.
Again, Raleigh Radiance really looking to move the disc laterally when there's not an option available immediately downfield rather than looking to shoot much, but a swing gets popped up this time over the head of the intended receiver, and Columbus starts moving quickly. Disc here in the hands of Rachel Mast.
Yeah. Heads up play there by Georgia.
Wow, Georgia had her back fully to that disc when the throw went up and just turned with her hands up and got that block. Really nice heads up defensive play.
Here Sarah Russick is open in the middle of the field. Looks to throw a flick. Jay-Z in pursuit. Bid just out of their reach.
Nice bid from Jay-Z again. This time just a little too far. Looked like it was blading pretty quickly to the turf. So we'll see Columbus pick up, and we're going to have Maggie roll initiating with an under, but instead the look goes up long.
Yeah,
really nice hook.
Maybe a blown defensive switch there, but that's
Mary
Turner able to get a free release into the deep space. And then Katrina McGuire throws a cross-field backhand just out of reach. That was a good look.
Yeah, another great look to that side of the end zone. That's 2 in a row now where Columbus has attacked to that corner with a relatively long throw. Both of them, I think, getting impacted by the wind and ending up out of reach of their receivers.
Yeah, if we're going based on these flags that we see across the field, it's a little bit of a left to right. So that throw getting pushed by the wind, maybe why you're seeing it go a little bit too far.
Yeah, it does look like from the flags that are visible to us from the booth, it does look like the wind has shifted since the first half. So maybe both of these lines, we saw some quick scores, some efficient possessions at the beginning of this half, but with this wind changing, it looks like both teams are having to adjust a bit, maybe figure out how to shape their throws in this more upfield, downfield wind direction.
Yeah, definitely.
So we've got a timeout on the field. And we've got about 5 minutes left in the quarter. Radiance still up by 1. So we're back to a really close game. And this point has been a pretty long one.
Yeah, and it looks like Radiance will take this opportunity to sub in an O-line, it looks like, with Ashley Powell coming to tap the disc in on their own goal line.
So Raleigh Radiance setting up in a split stack for this offensive possession.
Yeah, so Columbus has been pretty good about bouncing off of the inactive cutters. So the cutters closest to us across the field are, probably not getting the disc. So Columbus able to take away that space and make the entire field a little bit more narrow. But Raleigh able to swing it over, and CBC will catch the disc on the flat side.
Yeah, Raleigh was really able to take great advantage of that Columbus defensive shift. But a turnover leads to another Columbus possession. Rachel Graber with the disc here to Corinne Pruitt. And centered to Alicia Chen. And another throw to that far sideline that just gets picked up by the wind. So we're seeing a lot of wind impact on that sideline in the past few possessions.
So Raleigh will get another chance tapping it almost in the exact same spot. And we'll see them go to this 32 split stack again.
And we see the same defensive shift from Columbus with 88, Maddie Pletsky, popping off of her mark to go help deep. But now Raleigh Radiance in flow and Columbus going back to mostly tight matchups downfield. Alice with a nice little elevator backhand to get the disc up to Sarah Spall.
Yeah, Radiance looking very good downfield on this possession. And the classic commentator jinx there as the disc bounces off the hand of CBC. But I really liked how they were able to attack this sort of dead space, switch the field, and then quickly gain yards cutter to cutter.
So Columbus setting up an avert stack here. Looking to, again, keep the motion going primarily on the break side. Big
backhand out to space. Once again, gets pushed a little bit too far by that wind.
That's a nice shape for that huck. Maybe just a little early or based on where the cutter was starting from. Either way, it does land in bounds, so Raleigh Radiance has to go pretty much the full length of the field on this possession.
Claire Veer puts one up to Mary Rippey.
Wow.
She turns on the wheels and catches it standing up.
That's a great shot. And a really nice run from Mary. Wow.
Great grab there.
Huge bid from Clara Bidigary Curtis.
Bella Russell on the reset.
Back to Claire. Nice around to Ashley Powell. And Alice Wang gets open in the end zone for the goal.
Great offensive possession there by the Raleigh Radiance. Great huck by Claire Revere, set up perfectly with that timing by Mary Rippey.
Yeah, we haven't seen a ton of deep shots from Raleigh Radiance this game, but that one, executed perfectly. And being the solution to what was otherwise a very grindy, long point for both teams.
Yeah, we'll see how that affects kind of this matchup defense by Columbus in the ensuing points. But especially when Claire Revere, when Ashley Powell, when Raleigh's big throwers have the disc, you certainly have to respect that deep shot, especially when cutters like Mary Rippey are running it down.
So Jenny Riedel was the player who took that injury call in the previous point. She's back out on the line, so great to see that. And Raleigh Radiance is set to pull ahead to 10-8.
Yeah, it looks like we got just over 2 minutes left in this third period.
Q on the pull here.
Big outside in pull. Keeps it in bounds.
Columbus starting in a side stack. They run a bit of a flood play here and get the disc up to Rachel Mast. Kind of a curling cut from Katrina McGuire there. There's a lot of people in the same space downfield. McGuire gets open, but then a Hucklick doesn't quite pan out. So Connie is going to pick up the disc for Radiance on that far sideline.
Yeah, nice look there by Katrina McGuire. I think, it's maybe a tight space close to that sideline, but that's definitely one that Columbus thinks they should come down with.
Radiance cutter's a little far downfield here, but Q works under and dishes out to Kelsey Fitzpatrick, who moves the disc upfield again to Jenny and back to Connie. So again, we're seeing a
nice grab there by Jenny.
Quite a bit of the movement of this Radiance possession driven by the handlers and lateral movement. Nice big swing there to gain some yards.
Yeah, I really like Radiance's willingness to switch the field. They do it early and they do it often, which it puts a lot of pressure on the defense. It's much easier as a downfield defender if the disc is kind of sticking with one person. Great bid there, Katrina McGuire with the layout catch block.
Yeah, really nice block. And now they're looking to get the disc up to, again, that high side and move from there. Good coverage by the Radiance defenders near the disc, but a long huck look is open, and Columbus now just 10 yards outside their end zone.
Yeah, both teams kind of able to get open on these deep looks. It's partially applying all that pressure underneath. It's hard as a defender to take away everything, and the thing you're giving up in that scenario is probably a deep look.
Wow. Nice grab, despite quite a bit of defensive pressure there by Columbus. Number 8, Becky Moore. And y'all probably did hear the buzzer going off during that possession. So that is the end of the third quarter. Radiance 10, Columbus Pride 9.
And here we're just seeing a replay of that excellent block by Katrina McGuire. And then Columbus was actually able to possess this all the way until the end of the quarter and then punch it in. Kind of the ideal scenario if you're a Columbus Pride fan.
For sure. So that will bring us almost to period 4. And while we are enjoying this little break, while the two teams are taking a minute to recollect themselves and prepare to ramp up for a strong finish in the fourth, let's just talk really quickly about Be Ultimate. Raleigh Radiance is proud to be supported by Be Ultimate, our exclusive jersey partner for the 2023 season. Go to beultimate.com and look for the Raleigh Radiance collection to get your Radiance fan gear with our new logo. The Raleigh Radiance are also supported by Discraft, the official disc sponsor of the Premier Ultimate League.
Go to beultimate.com and look for the Raleigh Radiance collection to get your Radiance gear. The Radiance is also supported by Discraft, the official disc sponsor of the Premier Ultimate League. Spin Ultimate is the official gear sponsor of the PUL. And thanks to our fitness partners for the season. Select Physical Therapy and O2 Fitness have been keeping the Raleigh Radiance.
What are they, spaceships from Mars? No, they're frisbees. Watch it soar. It flies way around like a bird. You can even run for a pass. You can play all kinds of games. Isn't it amazing? Frisbee Flying Saucer. Yours at toy, drug, and department stores.
This This live broadcast of the Premier Ultimate League is brought to you by Spin Ultimate. Spin Ultimate, providing custom team uniforms and ultimate apparel since 2007. Visit Spin on the web at spinultimate.com. All right, that was a great shot of the fans in the stands here at Durham County Memorial Stadium. A lot of support for this Raleigh Radiance home team. A bunch of support for this away team, Columbus Pride as well. Love to see a bunch of folks in the stands here to support these PUL teams on this beautiful afternoon. And we are now just a few seconds away from the first pull of the last quarter.
Yeah, and the Radiance holding on to a 10-9 lead. But Columbus doing a great job of closing that 3-goal halftime separation, and then right within striking distance. So we'll see which team can pull it out in this fourth quarter.
Yeah, really exciting to be rolling into the fourth quarter with just a 1-point difference between the two teams. I do think it's likely that we will see a lot more of that intense matchup defense from Columbus Pride. Starting out here on defense, it was really working with quite a few blocks and a few challenging looks created by that pressure. So here comes Columbus with the first pull of the last quarter.
Yeah, Bella Russell centering it to Alice Wing. Nice go play here to Caitlin Gross.
Great play execution there.
Caitlin Gross will unleash the backhand hook, and it's a beautiful one. Claire Veer underneath makes the sky and grab.
Wow,
Gets
great
it back
placement.
to Caitlin.
Really nice hook from Caitlin. Really nice run from Claire Revere there. Caitlin now with the disc in the middle of the field.
Sarah Spall with the grab under pressure. Or sorry, that is right.
Yep.
Here's Alice Wing with the disc.
Sarah runs a strike cut, clears that space, and Alice is able to get the disc wide to Caitlin.
Great throw there by Caitlin Gross.
Throwing straight up the gut to Sarah Spall. So really nice offensive possession from Raleigh Radiance to start the quarter.
Yeah, really powered by the throwing prowess of Caitlin Gross there. Able to throw that big backhand hook after catching the underneath go play, and then also punching it in with that inside flick.
That's really beautiful motion. Great throws, as you said, Kieran. Great movement downfield. And then wrapping it all up, tying it up with a bow with that nice, patient in-zone offense. So Raleigh Radiance extends the lead back to 2.
All right, and Raleigh Radiance on D. This is Q Titcom with the ready to unleash the pool.
All right. Columbus's first offensive possession of the fourth quarter. They will set up in a bit of a split stack, looking to isolate Katrina McGuire in the middle of the field.
Yeah,
Katrina
she gets
McGuire
it
does
underneath.
get the disc there.
Oh, nice cut there by Samantha Phillips.
Great move to get open in that reset space.
Once again, the third downfield just a little bit too low. Columbus unable to dig it out. And here's Raleigh with the attack back on offense.
Q getting trapped by the Columbus mark here. Able to break around, but an incompletion. So Columbus picking up the disc. Most of Columbus cutters behind the disc. So no fast break opportunity, but now the cutters getting in motion downfield. And again, we see Katrina McGuire breaking free to start the downfield motion.
Great run through the tee there by Q Titcom.
Yeah, they're definitely making a big impact on defense from the Radiance side, and this disc moves laterally, looking for an option upfield. Not seeing one. Jenny hits Jenna Dahl for a strike.
Yeah, Columbus playing a little bit of a help deep, but it's leaving open Raleigh Radiance cutters underneath. So really just need to find that, and they do, and they work it up the field, throwing across the field.
Wow, great placement for that throw from Q, who throws the disc just into that break side space where George is able to run onto it and catch it with really no defensive pressure on that break side over there.
Yeah, great throw, great catch. Raleigh Radiance just bowling out there right now. We see Georgia making the grab.
So that re-extends the Raleigh lead to 3, 12 points to Pride's 9. Bit of a run for Raleigh Radiance here.
And this is the time that you want it, you know, fourth quarter, you know, if you're going to go on a run, now's a good time to do it, to kind of get a little bit of separation, have some breathing room going into the end of this game.
Yeah, definitely a great time to step on the gas pedal. Looks like we're going to have Ashley Powell with the pull for Radiance here, as we see Columbus preparing for this offensive possession, getting some coaching suggestions. So we're seeing our kind of staples of the Columbus O-line ready to receive this pull from Ashley Powell. Pull goes up. Nice pull. Katrina McGuire is pushing downfield early, and Columbus runs a go play for her. She's able to make the catch despite a lot of defensive pressure from Radiance, but the next throw is an incompletion.
Yeah, a lot of times, you know, there's that whole saying, pressure bursts pipes, and, you know, even if you don't get the D the first time, it's hard to play offense when you're experiencing that kind of pressure. Married. Dumps it off the sideline, then gets it right back in the middle of the field.
Caitlin Gross now on the far side. Radiance again, working laterally.
Caitlin shooting right now. A little bit under thrown to CBC.
Yeah, this one blocked by Rachel Mast, who gets up to make that huck a Columbus possession.
Give me a second, Roman. I want to play with why this is doing what it's doing.
Underneath grab by Maggie Rowell.
And a huge huck goes up from the hands of Samantha Phillips. But Raleigh Radiance is able to make a play. Justine Neville getting in front of the intended receiver to block that huck. So we're seeing some back-to-back hucks here, both of them ending in great defensive plays. So we've got Raleigh Radiance and Ashley Powell coming in with another possession here. Radiance cutters set up in another split stack, it looks like. Ashley moves the disc off the sideline, and Alice is able to complete the swing out to CBC, who centers up to Sarah Spall. So Raleigh really in a good tempo on that possession, but unfortunately turnover on a reset strike cut leads directly to another huck turnover from Columbus. So the huck's really not landing for either team this point, despite seeing some really successful huck looks earlier in this quarter.
Yeah, it seems like the separation may be there, but, you know, just a little too much edge on that last throw. And, you know, in these conditions, the edge control is really, really important on these long throws. So we'll see if they can get them dialed in. But the cutters are doing their job, creating separation downfield.
And great defensive pressure on the reset pushes the disc far into the end zone, but able to get it out from Alice's throw to Caitlin towing the line there.
Great upline there by Alice Wing. Continues to Sarah Spall. CBC in the middle of the field.
So Columbus trailing just a little bit on some of these strike cuts and some of these downfield cuts. Raleigh Radiance keeping the pace up. Columbus defense falling a step behind, and Radiance with a nice clean possession there to score that break.
Yeah, Caitlin Gross kind of hooping right now. Definitely opening up the field with their throws. Here you see CBC hitting Sarah Spall on an upline. Continuation, we'll see this backhand by Caitlin Gross. Tons of space. Look at that separation, just an excellent throw.
Yeah, great space from Justine as well. So that is a break for Raleigh Radiance. Score now 13-9 with about 6.5 minutes left in the game. So, Kieran, what adjustment do you think that Columbus Pride needs to make? This is quite a bit of a run for Radiance here. What can Columbus do to right the ship of this little run and get a hold on the board?
Well, you know, I mean, the easy thing to say from the commentator booth would just be connect on some of these deep hooks. But, you know, it's not always that easy. When they found, you know, when they went on that run to start the second half, it was they were doing it with very easy-looking passes, right? It was a lot of quick movement. It was underneath, breakside continuations. You know, for them to get back in this game, we're probably going to need to see more of that from this Columbus Pride offense.
And we do see, you know, the wind still holding pretty steady, moving from left to right on your screen at home. So that means Columbus looking at an upwind offensive possession here, which, you know, is probably good conditions to work those smaller, shorter passes and try to walk this disc into the end zone. So here we go, Columbus centering the pull.
It looks like, once again, Katrina McGuire kind of isolated in the middle of the field. The Raleigh help handler poach kind of stops the third to her, though.
Nice throw up the middle of the field. Gets Columbus some yardage. Again, we'll see a pass straight up the middle of the field. So Columbus really taking advantage of some open unders in the middle of the field right now. Corinne Pruitt swings up to the high side. Oh, and it looks like that disc just slipped out of the thrower's hands. Graham Cunningham with the too powerful pump fake there. We have all been there.
Oh, yes, many times.
So Raleigh Radiance has an opportunity to extend the lead. Let's see if they do.
Here's Q-Come with the disc.
That throw up to Georgia, maybe a little spicy. Georgia not able to hold on to it, so Columbus will tap the disc in on the home sideline.
Yeah, downwind just makes that disc fly a little bit faster, and definitely one that Georgia's going to want to have back. But you know, also as a thrower, you'd like to make it as easy as possible. Columbus catching the disc on the sideline, and it's actually determined to be out of bounds. So Raleigh Radiance with a little bit of a break there, and they'll get the disc back at right about the 40-yard line.
Yeah, that's a great grab by Corinne Pruitt to really elevate and snag that disc, but landing on the sideline. And Jenna immediately puts up a deep look to Q, who has a pretty hard read, that disc arcing over their head, and also some help defense coming in from Graham Cunningham to get that disc back for Columbus.
Yeah, I love the shape on that throw, but just a little bit too much, and it's that would have been an impressive grab.
Good heads-up play by Graham Cunningham to get involved there.
Here's Katrina McGuire in the middle of the field. Swings it over to Samantha Phillips. Lots of pressure by Georgia on the D there. Raleigh still looks...
Wow.
Wow, what a grab. It looks like an uncontested strip there, so Katrina McGuire will retain possession in the middle of the field, taps it back in.
Looks like we might have a little bit of a hold up here. There's some discussion happening, and we're tapped back in.
And play is resuming. Underneath D. Oh.
Big defensive bid by Sarah Russick. Not quite close enough. And Columbus
able to punch it in.
Punches it into the end zone. Some really nice grab from Columbus receivers on that possession. That bid on that under by Katrina McGuire. And then the goal scored up in the air. We're seeing that last Radiance turnover, that huck from Jinadal to Q. Great look, hard to execute. And then here we're seeing the score by Columbus.
Yeah, kind of a must-score possession there by Columbus Pride, and they are able to. With 3.5 minutes to go in this fourth quarter, Radiance clinging to a 3-point lead. So Columbus, I mean, definitely getting some opportunities. So we'll see if they can look to capitalize, or if the Radiance can kind of put a couple clean holds together and finish this game out strong.
Yeah, you know, these long points where the teams are punching back and forth, a lot of defensive pressure, a few huck turnovers. Points like that are really going to benefit Radiance at this point of the game with so little time left. That being said, this Radiance O-line is definitely going to be looking for an efficient hold, although as we mentioned last point, with the pulls coming from the left, we are seeing the offense have to work upwind.
Yeah, and important to remember that in this fourth quarter, the time is an actual, well, it's still a clock, but it's time will run out when that clock hits 0. So no end of quarter possession. It's more like a buzzer beater scenario at that point.
Claire Revere winds up for a big huck to her fellow Claire Bittigary Curtis.
Looking for that Claire to Claire connection.
The Claire to Claire connection. I think, you know, that's a great connection to lean on. That instance of it just needed a little more air maybe. So here we've got a Columbus disc coming in on the home sideline.
And you'll notice the clock continuing to run until the 2-minute mark. So Columbus do need to force the issue a little bit, and they try to, but it just out of reach of number 21, Mal Griffith.
So if you're Radiance here, I feel like you're taking your time on these turnovers.
Yeah, I mean, I'd be running the old four corners, pulling a page out of the Dean Smith playbook. But, you know, it's also, you have a little bit of a lead here, so as they look to throw it deep, Mary Rippey just a little bit too far.
Yeah, that backhand from Ashley Powell just arcing OI, going a bit over Mary's head, and actually turning and rolling all the way across the field. So that disc traveling from the home sideline all the way to the front of the end zone on the far sideline. And a first throw turnover from Columbus will give Raleigh Radiance a much shorter field to look for this score. So, you know, that hook kind of it worked out for Radiance in terms of getting this this short field possession here.
Yeah, Radiance able to rely on their defense to gain a little bit of field position.
Oh, that's
good poach block there by Columbus Pride.
Great poach block to see that throw developing early and get in the space and make a really safe play. But another turnover comes, and Raleigh Radiance will have the disc a little inside of half field.
So Ash Powell tapping it in, centers it to Mary Rippey. Bella Russell.
Wow.
Great read there.
Well, okay, we see two discs pop up, and we see two receivers make the necessary adjustment and grab the disc nonetheless. And Raleigh Radiance scores to take us to 14-10.
Yeah, big hold there. And like you said, great reads by both receivers. Into that upwind end zone, those discs like to pop up.
So first Alice Wang here reading that disc that goes over her head and getting a bunch more yards out of it. And then Claire Bittigary Curtis making the read to elevate at just the right time and score despite a lot of defensive pressure.
Yeah, once again, Columbus, you know, they're getting opportunities. They're able to get turns, generating pressure with their D-line. You know, it's just about the offensive efficiency after the turn. So we'll see if they can punch in some quick holds and get back in this thing.
Yeah, and they are going to have to be quick holds with only about a minute and 16 seconds left in the game.
Yeah, I would expect to see probably hitting Katrina McGuire with an isolation cut and then look for a deep look off of that. But
oh, you got the playbook, Kieran?
Oh, you know, you learn over the course of a game.
I'll be interested to see if Radiance pulls out anything other than match defense here to try to slow down that kind of isolation or deep look.
Yeah, I
from
mean,
Columbus.
it's a good idea, like, knowing that Columbus is looking for a quick score. You might even look with some sort of last back poach to have someone sit over the top, but we'll see what the coaching staff has dialed up for this possession. Looks like they're definitely staying a little bit behind. And Columbus throwing it up. Jay-Z in the area, able to get the D.
Great read by Jay-Z to smack that huck out of the air.
1 minute remaining.
And there's less than a minute on the clock now as Radiance picks up for this possession.
So now for Radiance, you know, maintaining possession, and you can just seal this one away.
Hannah Betcher near the home sideline with the disc. Oh,
Great poach
that's
there.
great heads-up defense from Corinne Pruitt, who recognizes that an open under is coming beside her, turns around and gets the block.
Yeah, it's always tricky as a thrower to know when that defender is going to just turn around and stay in the space. And as a defender, if you can disguise it, you know, a way to get a timely D for Columbus, who has 20 seconds here trying to punch one in.
Nice grab by Rachel Mast there a couple throws ago, who gets the disc back in the hands of the Columbus handlers. And back to Mast now on the far sideline. Good move by Samantha Phillips to shake the defense, and then a block by Hannah Betcher, but some significant contact after the block. It looks like we're going to have a bit of a player discussion about a call there.
Yeah, that was as time expires too, so we'll see. Looks like maybe an uncontested foul. We'll see if they put time back on this clock.
I actually think that we might have seen that call retracted.
Oh yeah, it looks like it is.
Well, in that case, we're looking at game, folks.
All right, game over.
So that game ended by that defensive play from Hannah Betcher, who got in the way of that potential goal-scoring throw. And I think, you know, that's pretty indicative of the tone of this game, which to me, Kieran, was really established by excellent defensive plays from both teams.
Yeah, lots of blocks both ways. Excellent defense, and you know, you love to see that for the first game of the season.
In 2 weeks on Sunday, April 16th.
And we are excited to be able to announce player of the game, the Discraft player of the game. We are going to give to Katrina McGuire, Columbus number 77, who made a big impact on this game, both defensively and offensively. Quite a few blocks on some really challenging matchups, quite a few layouts to save possession, really just everywhere on the field. So that is our Discraft player of the game, Katrina McGuire.
Yeah,
And
very impressive game, if in a losing effort, you know. All over the field, blocks, hucks, underneath.
great game, and we are so excited. Congratulations, Raleigh Radiance, on the win in their home opener. Thank you, Columbus, for traveling, and thank you, everyone at home, for watching.